And I'm a little cold, so I'm going to keep my socks on just for a little bit, just so you know. Feel free to also do that. We will today be working towards a pose called Hanumanasana, and I won't actually tell you what that translation is because I don't want you to worry. But all the things we'll be doing are kind of building blocks for that pose. And then just FYI, I can't actually do the pose myself, so it's all prep work to get towards the pose. Are you so excited? Yes. Yeah, Robin's gonna love it. It's a lot of hamstring stretch. Yeah. Oh. All right. So let's go ahead. Oh, let me see this too. If you're on a wood floor at home, you'll want something that slides, such as a blanket or a towel or even a pair of socks would be fine. If you're on carpet, you won't need a slidey thing. And then everybody, if you have blocks, they're useful and a strap as well, but all can be done without. So let's have your strap handy. Just have it to the side. Come to lay down in whatever position is comfortable for the moment. So legs can be bent or straight. Same thing, arms can be close to your body or spread out really wide or give yourself a little hug. And just take a second to settle in, to arrive, and give yourself a little check-in. Just notice, how does your body feel right now? And what's going on in your mind right now? And what's going on in your breath right now? Very gently here, just let the head take a little turn from side to side, kind of like you're saying no. And then it might feel good to take a big stretch with the arms if you want to reach the arms, and maybe the legs too. Just feel like you're waking up. You can circle the wrists, the ankles, anything that you like. And then from here, friends, here's where we'll use the strap. So those of you, I think everyone at home has a strap, so I'm not going to say how to do it without. Let's put the strap over the right foot. Left leg for the moment can be bent or straight. And just take a second here for anything at all. Any sort of stretch through the hamstring. You could bend and straighten the knee. Yeah, you could move the ankle, the toes. I'm going to be more specific in a sec, but just do what you need to do for the moment. Yeah. And if it's been a while, sometimes too when it's cold outside or humid or wet outside, that affects what's going on in our musculature. Yeah. So let's pause here. And if you're getting a pretty decent stretch, actually back off of that a little bit. If you're okay to stretch the left leg long on the floor, do that. And we're going to pay attention for a little bit to the left leg. If you need to have the left knee bent, that's fine, and just ignore these instructions here. So on the left leg, just notice when you relax it, how the leg turns out. The knee turns to the side, the toes turn to the side. Let's reach the heel outward, away from you, and at the same time send the inner thigh down towards the floor. Yes, the leg is very active, very awake. And as you press the left heel away from you, at the same time, think of pulling the left hip towards you. Yeah. All right, let's keep that on the bottom leg. Now pay attention to the top leg here. Small little bend in the knee. And right at the very hip crease, at I guess in this part, the lowest part of the leg. If you're standing, it's the highest part. Can you move this part of you down, away from the head? And slowly here, we'll start to stretch the leg straight. And as you do, press the foot up into your strap. Yeah, so the foot is pressing up into the strap, and at the same time, we're trying to press the thigh bone down towards the pelvis. So it's a two-directional situation going on. Yeah. Now, when we press the foot into the strap, hopefully your pelvis and your lumbar spine are neutral. We're not trying to flatten the back. Can you keep that neutral going in the pelvis as you start to draw the leg a little bit more towards you? Notice how the back wants to press down into the floor and the pelvis wants to tuck under. Don't do it. Only go as far as you can, staying in your neutral. Yeah, you guys look great. One more time, pay attention to the bottom leg and keep it going. That's it. And then from here, let's back off slightly with the stretch. Just let the leg come a little away. Tiny bend in the right knee and put both straps into the left hand. We'll take the leg over to the left, but not far at first, just over the midline. Stay here, and then in your bottom leg, pull the left hip towards you. Move the right hip down away from you, and slowly start to stretch the leg to straight again. Reach the foot into the strap, and the thigh bone down into the pelvis. So the two-directional. Yeah. Yes. Robin is so much enjoying this, aren't you? Yeah. Now, feel free, you can stay right here. If you want to take the leg over further, that'll move the stretch into a different place. Maybe you want that, maybe you don't. And if you do a little bend on the transition, take the leg further over to the left. And then again, pull the left hip towards you, the right hip down away from you, and re-lengthen the leg from there. Yes, friends. Okay, let's come back to center. Release the leg, take the strap off the foot, and just lengthen both legs long for a second. Just be relaxed. Take a breath. Notice if there's any discernible difference here on the right side, left side. Yeah, so we'll do all of that on side 2. Let's start with the strap over the foot. Now I forgot to say this. Feel free, any handhold is fine. You could do a loop, no loop. You could wrap the hands, whatever you want for the arms. And then just take a moment for yourself for whatever you think you need. Back and forth, bend and straighten. Maybe just hold the position just to get some of the kinks out a little bit. Yeah. And then when you find a place where you're getting a pretty decent stretch, back off a little bit from that so we can work on the bottom leg without messing with the top leg. Notice if the right leg is totally relaxed. Do that for a second. It flops out. It turns out to the side. And then let's do the opposite here. We'll press outward through the heel. Roll the inner thigh down towards the floor. And as the heel is reaching away from you, draw the right thigh bone towards your head and the right half of the pelvis towards your head, like a giant pair of scissors here in your legs. Yeah. Let's stay here, slight bend in the left knee. And then right at the hip crease, move that part down away from your head. In slow motion, we'll re-straighten the leg, press the foot up into the strap. And at the same time, press the left thigh bone down into the pelvis. Yeah. Now when we press the foot up into the strap, hopefully that action will set the pelvis and the lower back to neutral. Keep that, and then any amount, maybe take the leg a little more towards your head. Do that though without tucking the pelvis under. Yeah. Also, we want to be breathing the whole time. Good. So let's back off a little bit. Take both straps in the right hand, bend the knee just a slight amount, the left knee, as we take it over the midline, and we'll start teeny tiny here. Move the left hip down away from your head, pull the right one towards your head, and slowly, slow as molasses, we'll stretch the leg, pressing the foot into the strap and the thigh bone into the pelvis. Yeah, that's so exciting, isn't it? Good. So you choose if you want to stick with this or if you want to take the leg more to the right. If you do that, bend the knee a little through the transition so that you can reset once you get there. And again here, right hip pulls towards you, left one goes away. Press the foot and the thigh bone in opposite directions. Yeah, I have a very convenient wall to my side. All right, you guys, let's come back to center. Bend the knee, take the strap away, and just release the leg again. Take a moment here, take a breath. That's it. And now, just again, notice when the legs are relaxed, they have a tendency to roll out. We're going to now do both legs at the same time. Reach the heels forward. Send the inner thighs down towards the floor. And let's take the arms right in front of the chest, just up towards the ceiling. In a moment, we'll start to draw the arms back, and you'll find that the ribs want to pop up. See if you can keep the ribs contained as the arms start to draw back in the direction of the floor behind you. And then if you're able to touch the floor, let's actually hover a little bit. So that'll create a little more work. Yeah, nice. Now keep the front ribs down. Imagine the back ribs becoming a little wider. Fingers and heels are reaching away from each other. Great. And then let's release the arms, bend the knees, and bring the knees just in towards your chest for a second. You could take a little side to side little movement if that feels good. Yeah. And then we'll do just one little thing, just a little bit of core work here. Take your right hand to the inside of the left thigh, close to the knee. So it crisscrosses, right hand to left side. And then pick up the left hand, the head, I mean, with the left hand. Stretch the right leg out, either up for a little easier or forward for a little more challenge. And then on the leg and hand side, press in towards the midline. Yeah, and we'll just hold. Great, side two. So it's left hand to right inner leg, left leg goes long, head is held, and press arm and leg in towards the midline. We'll just hold. And we're only doing the one on each side. Yeah, great. Come on down, release. Take a little movement if that feels good. We're about to turn it over, coming to the all fours position. So whatever you need to do to get there. I'm going to take my socks off if anyone also wants to. We'll be having the feet on the floor, so sometimes that's a better grip. All right. So finding your all fours, hands and knees position. Do feel free if you need extra padding, you could put a blanket down. And just start to move anything you like in the spine, in the pelvis, in the head, shoulder blades. Yeah, it feels good. Great, let's pause here, just right in the middle. Breathe in, and now on the exhale, we'll press into the floor with the hands, round the back into your cat pose. And on the inhale, we'll come into our cow. Shoulder blades move down the back, chest moves forward. Exhale, we round into cat. And inhale, we lengthen into cow. Take that just a few more times, friends, on your own. All right, and then we'll go back to child's pose. If anybody wants to have the toes tucked under here, feel free. If you prefer not to do that, that's fine. Yeah, maybe add in a little side-to-side movement in the hips. And before we come up again, take the spider fingers hand position. So you're just on the fingertips. Palms and wrists are lifted. Give the mat a little scrunch action as the center of the palms lift. Yeah. That helps relieve the wrist and strengthen the forearms. Let's set the hands back down. Come up, and if you have the toes tucked, if you need to shake them out, you can have that in. Yeah. All right. Let's reach the right leg back with the toes tucked under and just move yourself a little forward and back a couple of times. Stretch out through the calf, the Achilles. That's it. And then let's pause here. Broaden your collarbones, lift a little through the low belly. And then in slow motion here, we're going to lift the right leg, but do so by lifting up the inner thigh. Inner thigh lifts. Yeah. We press outward, backward through the heel, but at the same time, can you pull the right hip a little forward? Yeah, good. That'll help you engage the core a little more. If you want to stretch the left arm forward, do with the thumb facing up. If that messes you up, just keep the hand down and only do the leg. Yeah. Whatever's still on the floor, press it down. And then we'll release the arm, release the leg, back to child's pose. And this time, flip the palms to face up and just move the fingers and the wrists a little bit here. See anemones. Yeah. All right, side two. So let's reset back to your all fours. Left leg reaches back, toes are tucked, and we move forward back a couple of times. That's it. And then we'll pause before we lift the leg. Broaden the collarbones and lift a little the low belly, the low ribs. Slowly let the left leg lift. Lift from the inner thigh. Yeah. And then once you get there, the heel presses back, but the left hip pulls a little forward. Press down through the right shin. And if you want to add in, right arm goes straight ahead, thumb faces up. If that's a no-go, just skip it. Yeah, awesome. Down comes the arm, down comes the knee. One more time back to child's pose. Do whatever you want in the feet, whatever you want in the hands. Of course, a little wobble, that's always fine too. Nice job, guys. So in a second, we'll come down onto the belly. Let's get there by doing this. Hands flat on the floor. Press into the floor. First round up through cat pose, and then continue forward. The spine will unravel itself. The elbows bend, and we land down on the belly. Nice job. Just rest your forehead on the hands for a second. We'll just work with the legs at first. Now, lift the right leg up off the floor. And as you pull back on the right leg, also roll the inner thigh up towards the ceiling, internal rotation, and then continue to draw back through the toes as you lower the leg down. Yeah, and see how that gives the right side more space than the left. Let's do the left one. So lift, and then the inner thigh rolls up as you pull back through the left toes, and then set the leg back down. Yeah. So for the next lift, we'll lift both together. Lift up from the inner thighs and think more of a lengthening than a high height. And down we go. Do that 2 more times. So the inner thighs lift the legs, the toes drop back. And down we go. Last one. Nice job. Let's stay in the down position. Bend both knees and just give the legs a little swish or a little side to side, anything at all. All right, you guys. Let's set the legs down. We'll press back and we'll do a brief down dog, and let this be just another opportunity to get the wiggles out. If you want to pedal the legs, move the hips, take anything you want here. We'll be more specific later with down dog. Yeah, I'm getting all kinds of cracklies. Good. All right, you guys, let's pause here. Take the feet a little wider and bend the knees. We'll walk the hands back and prop up so the forearms rest on the thighs. Yeah. And then just be here for a second. You could circle the wrists, move the fingers if that feels good. Awesome. And then when you're ready, we'll press down through the feet. Use the inhale to rise all the way up. And then on the exhale, release the arms. Nice job. Okay. So for this next little bit, we'll use a block. And then if you don't have a block, you can do imaginary, or you could use even a pillow or something. We're going to put it in between the thighs. And let's stand actually at the back of the mat with your prop. Yeah. So I'm going to face you just so you can see. Pop the prop in between the thighs and look down at the toes and notice if you're in this turned out position, and see if you can adjust so the toes point straight ahead. Yeah. And then very gently squeeze the block. Use your inner thighs to do that, but it's a gentle squeeze. It's not a death grip. It's a little. Yeah. And then release. We're going to go again, adding on. So squeeze in, and now roll the block forward. And notice when you do that, the thighs, it's a little external rotation, the pelvis tucks under. You might kind of slump back a little as a counter, and then we'll come back to center. Do the opposite, so squeeze in, and now roll the block back. And that one does the opposite, a little bit of internal rotation, the pelvis tilts forward, and the torso too might come a little forward. So let's come back to center. Yeah, if we do only one or only the other, that can be problematic. So let's do one with some add-ons. Give the block another little squeeze, roll it back, but not max capacity, just a little bit. And then from here, see if you can keep rolling the block back, but at the same time, lift up through the pit of the abdomen and imagine the flesh in your back and the flesh in the buttocks descend down towards the heels. Wow, you guys are standing so tall. Very exciting. Let's keep all of this. Take the arms out to the side and slowly lift the arms up. And if you notice, sometimes the ribs come with the arms. That's okay at first. But then once you're up there, see if you can take the front ribs down. Yeah, good. So we've got both things happening here. You're rooting down through the legs. We're growing tall through the torso. Let's take a breath in. And then on the exhale, come into forward fold. You can bend the knees as much as you need. Let the legs relax a little, but keep the block in there. Yeah, let's take the hands up onto the shins. Move the chest forward, lengthen the spine. And here's where it gets very exciting. We're going to come down, keep the block in there, and walk forward to plank pose. Yeah, now if you're not doing plank pose, just take the block out and do your plank alternative. Hands and knees, or just knees on the floor is fine. Yes. Those of you who are in plank pose, can you broaden the collarbones? Give the block a light squeeze and lift it up towards the ceiling slightly. Yes. And Anna, you look fantastic over there. Now, from here, friends, without squeezing the tailbone, can you move the buttocks flesh down towards the heels and draw the navel forward towards your chin? Yeah. Good. One more thing with the block. Let's go back to down dog. If you need to adjust your stance a little bit, you can. Look back at your feet if you can see them. Very slight bend in the knees. Give the block a light squeeze and roll it back. And do you see how the knees and the knees go in and the heels go out? Can you hug the heels in enough so that the knees align forward and the feet align? And then slowly start to go straighter in the legs. Think of lifting the block up towards the ceiling. Yes, yogis. I know. We're not going to keep the block forever, just for another breath. Well done. Let's set the knees down. Go ahead and take your block out. Put it to the side. Good. Just take a little rest. If you need to move the hands a little or wiggle a little, that's fine. Yes, Sarah, you did it.
Shocker.
Yeah, you did it. All right, I'm like kind of out of breath. Let's come down onto the belly again. And remember last time we did the leg lift with the internal rotation? Do that again, just slowly, one and the other. Yeah, just to create space. And then from here, we'll do a quad stretch. So we'll bend the right knee and hold on to the foot or the ankle with whatever you can hold. If you can't reach, you can use a strap. Oh yeah, me too, Robin. Send the knee towards the back of the mat, but see if you can draw the navel towards the front of the mat. Yeah, you'll hear me do a lot of that, giving kind of two instructions that oppose each other or counter each other a little bit. Yeah, let's release and change sides. Left knee bends. Once you're there, send the knee to the back of the mat, but your navel to the front of the mat. Yes. I always point out my left side is so much tighter than the right. And I know you know that, but I'm always amazed. Okay, let's put the leg down. Just take a little wiggle here, just a little movement. And then we'll go back to down dog. No block this time, but I'll cue the same instructions I did when we had the block. So go ahead and get there. Just have the feet a comfortable distance apart. If you can see the feet at least for a moment, look at them. Slight bend in the knees. Push the mat forward with your hands so the hips can go back. And then roll it, the very, very top of the inner thighs. Roll them back slightly. Notice how the heels pull apart. Hug in a little in the feet. And then slowly start to re-lengthen the legs. Now, if anybody is a hyperextender in the knees, be careful here. But everybody else, take from the backs of the knees to the backs of the heels. Reach downward. Yeah. Good. All right. And then to get out of this, let's come into forward fold. Any way you want to get there is fine. Root down to rise up. Inhale, we grow tall, lifting the arms. Exhale, brings the arms down just alongside you. Nice job, you guys. So our next little sequence will involve some lunges with the knee down. I'll suggest blocks if you have them. And if your floor is hard and you need padding, you can have a blanket as well for a knee. Up to you. Okay. So here we are at the front of your mat. Mountain pose, you can have the feet together or keep a little space, whatever you like. And we'll practice some of the things that we've been working on. So, in your position here, start with a tiny bend in the knees. At the very, very tops of the inner thighs, roll back slightly. Yeah, keep that. As you straighten the legs, lift up through the front of the body, but see if you can move down through the back of the body. Yeah, up come the arms. Inhale. Exhale, down we go. Forward fold, you can bend the knees here if you need to. Take your halfway lift. And then let's come down, hands on something, right leg steps back, and lower the knee to the floor or to the blanket. Yeah. All right. Just take a second to get there. And now for the moment, any way you want to do this is fine. We'll go back and forth on the front leg. I'm going to be more specific about this, but kind of like the leg stretch earlier, take whatever you need, whatever feels good. And then don't worry, get another juicy hamstring stretch in a second. But let's pause with the front knee bent, and then actually take the foot slightly more towards you so it's a shorter stance. We'll come up onto the back shin, hands onto the hips. And then in this position, press the back shin downward as you lift upward through the belly. We'll take the hands to the left thigh at the very, very top. Let the back round slightly as you press down with the hands. That's it. And then from here, back off a little and scooch the left foot forward again, just like we had it a second ago. Find this again. So hands pressed down, the back rounds a little, the belly is very lifted. And then just very small amount, let the pelvis come forward. But what we don't want to do is come all the way down like this, yeah? So it's create a little resistance here. Good. All right, let's back off. Set the hands down onto the floor or to your blocks, and now shift back in such a way that the right thigh bone is straight up and down. And the hands, for most of us, will want to pull back a little bit. Yeah. See if you can do this. Be on the left heel with the toes going up towards the ceiling. And for most of us, the pelvis has a tendency to shift to the right here. Yeah. See what happens when you shift it to the left. Oh, nuts. Yeah. And then see if you can stay on the left and drop the left hip a little. Good. Now, engage the muscles right around the left kneecap. See if you can draw the kneecap towards you. Spread out through the toes and a teeny tiny little bit. Pull back through the pinky toe and press forward, not the big toe itself, but the ball of the big toe. Press it a little forward. Oh, yeah. Good. Now, many of us are kind of rounding down here. See if you can very gradually start to move your sternum forward, the front of the chest forward. Ah, can you breathe? Yeah. Good. So let's stay here more or less. Back off a little on this front leg, and now bring the sole of the foot either to the floor or towards the floor. For many of us, it doesn't touch completely, and that's fine. Bend at the ankle so the toes ankle in towards the midline. Oh, yeah. And then let's again move the chest forward. If you're up for it, you can walk the arms a little forward and a little to the left, maybe outside of the leg, maybe not. Yeah, that's it, that's it. Good. Now, in whatever position you ended up in, can you move the pelvis back and the chest forward in opposition of each other? Oh, yeah. It's very exciting, isn't it? Yeah. So this is a pretty deep stretch. The next one we'll do will not be so much stretch, but it'll be more work. So let's reset back to center. Rebend the front knee so the shin is straight up and down. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and we're here. Yeah, now this might seem familiar. See if you can draw the right thigh bone forward, the right half of the pelvis forward, and on the left side back, like a big pair of scissors that you're trying to close. Yeah, take your left hand on the outside of the leg, press leg and hand into each other, move the pelvis back, move the chest forward. If this is it, you stay. If you want more, right arm stretches back, and then the same right arm will stretch forward on the diagonal, take it or leave it. Yes, keep whatever you're doing on the left side. Gorgeous work, yogis. Put the hand down, put the other hand down. Bend the back knee and go a little straighter in the front leg, and just take a little hip wiggle, a little side to side. Yeah, you guys, those are great. Let's bend the front knee, step the back foot forward. Come all the way up to stand. And release the arms. Yes, we'll do that whole thing on side 2, starting with mountain pose. Again, feet can touch, or you can keep some space. Now in your position here, tiny, tiny bend in the knees. The very, very tops of the inner thighs, let them roll back slightly. Not a lot, just a little. And as you straighten the legs, think of lifting up through the whole front of the body and moving down through the whole back of the body. Gorgeous. Let's lift the arms. Inhale. Exhale, take it down, forward fold, maybe bend the knees. Halfway up we come, we lengthen. Lower it down, step the left leg back, knee down on something, the floor or your blanket, whatever. And then at first, any version of this. Forward, back, we go. Yeah, stretch out a little bit. This side's my tighter side for today. Back of my right leg. It's always the back of my right leg and the front of my left leg. And then we'll come back to this in a sec. Let's pause with the front knee bent and scooch the foot back slightly, a little more towards the back of the mat, and bring yourself up. At first, hands to the hips. We'll press the sun just came out. The back shin presses down, the belly lifts up, hands go to the top of the right thigh, and we press down as we round the back a little, just a little. Keep the belly lifted. And then very slightly back off as we transition. Scooch the right foot again, just a little further forward. Let's find this press and lift. And keep the press and lift as we shift forward a little. Again, it's just a little. Good. All right, we'll back off. Set the hands down. And now we'll come to this position. The left thigh is approximately straight up and down. Front leg is straight and the heel is down, toes are up. Most of us will feel better pulling the hands back a little bit. Yeah. Now from here, notice if the pelvis is drifted to the left, it probably has. Can you shift to the right slightly? Yes. And then slightly drop the right hip down towards the floor. Oh, holy moly. Yeah, spread out a little through your toes. Draw back through the pinky toe, press outward through the ball of the big toe. Ah. Nice. And then from here, we'll stay. Back off a little with the foot, and now bring the sole of the foot to or towards the floor. Bend at the ankle so the toes bow in. Yeah. Then from here, if you're up for more, start to walk the arms a little forward and a little to the right, or maybe all the way outside of the right leg. For me, that's too much on this side. I'm just going to stay here. That's it. And then everybody, can you move the pelvis back and the chest forward? in whatever position it's pointing. Yeah. Nice job. Can you relax your face? Can you keep breathing easily? And if not, maybe that's a sign. Okay, guys, well done. Let's come back to center. Rebend the front knee. Up the back toes under, lift the back knee. We're going to stay. Now in the back leg, can you draw the left thigh bone and the left pelvis forward? Opposite on the right side. The right side tries to pull back. Move the chest forward. Take the right hand to the right leg. Press arm and leg. Lengthen again, the sternum straight ahead. And if you're up for it, left arm comes back. And if you're still up for it, left arm comes forward. Oh, nice choices, yogis. Press the leg more than you're pressing the hand on the right side. That's it. Down we come, 2 hands down. Bend the back knee and straighten the front leg, or straighten-ish, and then just wiggle a little just to get rid of it. Yes. Good job, you guys. To get out of this, let's actually go to down dog here. So you can redo, reset yourself. Yeah. Take a moment. I'm not going to say much, but if you want to include some of those actions we've been working on, go ahead and do it. Yes. Okay. And then to get out of this, let's meet in standing forward fold. Any way you want to get there. Root down through the legs. Inhale, we grow tall. And exhale. Release the arms. Awesome. Okay. So let's do warrior 1 with a little ledge. And for most of us, just a folded blanket will be perfect. So you can fold your blanket like this and have it at the back of your mat. And I'm going to, I'll set you up, but then I want to show you something. So get there. I think let's also have the blocks in the front. Go ahead and have them there. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get there or not. But stand with the hands to the hips, right heel on the blanket, and angle the right leg. Just let it turn out slightly. So if you look at the foot, it's about 1 or 2 o'clock. Yeah. Left leg steps forward. It's a little awkward. Go ahead and just get there. Yeah. And then we'll straighten both legs. And I'm going to have you'll see my back for a second. If you can reach, use your right hand, and from the inner thigh to the outer thigh, just kind of sweep a few times, encouraging the idea of the block work that we had. Remember, we were rolling the inner thigh back. So just do that a few times here. Yeah. And then once you have that, we'll stay. Press the back heel down into the floor, lift up through the low belly, take the arms up. And as you bend the front knee, we start to go down. Think of still lifting up through the upper body as you descend into warrior 1 pose. Yeah, great. Good. Keep the back heel pressing down. Keep the inner thigh rolling back on your right leg. Awesome. Let's add on here. Inhale, straighten the front leg. On the exhale, rebend, cactus the elbows, hinge forward. Let's do that again. Inhale it up. Exhale, hinge. Yep. And then one more time. On the hinge, we'll stay for a second. Oh, my blocks are so far away. Let's come down, landing your hands. Yeah. Keep the back heel pressing into the blanket. I know, wait, I don't usually do it this way, but let's do it for today. And now on the front leg. As the leg starts to go straighter, try to dig the left heel into the floor and press it forward as the left thigh bone draws back. Kind of working on this theme here. Yeah, you'll do that slowly a few times. So slight little bend. You'll push the heel forward and draw the thigh back. One more time. Now we'll stay once the leg is your version of straight. And then in this position, I need to go a little higher. See if you can draw the whole pelvis back and the sternum forward like we did in some of those other positions here. Yeah, great. It's a variation on a pose called Parshvottanasana. Intense stretch on one side. That's the translation, literally. Yeah. Okay. Bend the front knee. Step the back foot forward. Inhale, we rise, mountain pose. Exhale, put the arms down. Yeah. Great. Same thing, side two. So now we know where the blocks need to be. You can have them there for side two. Left leg up, heel on the little ledge, and let the foot angle out. Hands to hips, right leg steps forward. Yeah. And then once you're in position, we'll straighten both legs. If you can reach, left hand starts just below the butt there, and then you'll roll from in to out. Do that a few times. And that just helps encourage that idea of what we've been doing. Good. The next time it's done, we'll stay. Keep the back heel rooting down. Lift up through the low belly, lift up through the arms. And as we descend, the front knee will bend, but think of going higher through the upper body. Yeah, nice. Now, if your stance was too short and your knee is going ahead of the ankle, you can probably scooch the foot a little forward. Good. You guys look like $1 million over here. All right. Let's inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, rebend, cactus the elbows, hinge. 2 more times. That's it. This last one will stay. Hands release down onto something. And then you'll press the right heel down. Try to press the heel forward. At the same time, draw back through the right thigh. Yeah, do that a few times really slowly. So we've got this 2-directional movement going on. The foot presses forward, the hip draws back. Yeah, last time. Good. Stay there. Draw the whole pelvis back, the sternum forward. If you need to go higher on your hands, you can. Yeah. Nice job, guys. And then to get out, let's bend the front knee. Step the back foot forward. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, arms come down. Okay, I think we're ready for Hanuman attempt. Let's do it. So let me show how you might want to set this up if you're on a wood floor. Actually, for carpet, it's not that different. You wouldn't need this blanket if you're on carpet. So we'll have one blanket off the mat just so that it can slide. And then you could use a second blanket if you have it. I'm just going to fold my mat for extra cushion. It's just for padding in the knee. You might not even need that. You could even do it twice if you wanted to. Yeah. Okay. That's it. So we've got this little gap between the front of the mat and your blanket. Those of you who have blocks, set the blocks in the gap. One on each side. You're like, what are we going to do here? All right. So Hanuman, we don't have a Hanuman in the room. He is a legendary figure in Hindu mythology. He jumped between India and Sri Lanka with one leg in each place. So we're going to emulate that. Let's come on down. So take the right leg. Yeah, right. We're going to leap across continents. Right leg is forward. Left leg is back. And then just go a little bit. So start to slide the right leg forward. That's it. And don't go far. Just find a spot where, I'm feeling something. And then let's work on all the stuff we've been working on. On the back leg, roll the inner thigh back. And then on the front leg, plug in. So draw the right thigh bone back. Yeah. Good. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you go again. If you go again, back off a little on the effort. Let yourself glide. This is maybe another spot. Still not, don't go max capacity. And then we'll find it again. On the back leg, roll the inner thigh back. On the front leg, plug it in. And here we are. Yeah. Maybe you're done. Maybe you have one more. If you do, back it off, glide. And then find it again. Roll the inner thigh back on the back leg. Plug in through the front leg. If you're the right height for this and you have a handy block, you could put it under the right thigh. But if you're close but not quite there, don't just plop down on the block. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. See? No big deal, Hanuman. Yeah. All right, use your core, use your arms to glide it back in. Yeah, and just kneel for a second. Knees down. If you need a little wobble, you can have that. Yeah. All right. Side two. We're going to go again just very incrementally so you can learn these actions in the pose. Left leg comes forward. Glide a little, but not max it. So maybe you're feeling something, but you know, you could sit here all day and eat breakfast if you wanted to. It's not too intense. On the back leg, roll the inner thigh back. On the front leg, plug in. Yeah. If you're going again, back off of that, let yourself go. I'm almost off the screen. I think I'm still on. And then again, the inner thigh rolls back, the front leg plugs in. And here we are. Yeah. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you go again. Yeah. Every time you land, find those actions. So the inner thigh rolls back on the back leg. The front leg plugs in. Yeah, you guys. I think I'm going back to the legend of Hanuman. I think it was to rescue the princess. It always is about rescuing the, yeah. The funny thing though, here, let's come back in. Whenever I hear the story told, the details are always like kind of different. So it's one of those, I think the legend gets passed down and people embellish and it changes a little bit, which is kind of fun. Yeah. Just take a second. If you're comfortable sitting on the heels, you can. If you want to wiggle, you can. Don't dismantle though. We're going to go again. I promise it's easier the second time. Thanks. Okay, friends. You ready? The second time is easier because you're already open, a little more open. And we won't do the 1, 2, 3. We'll just go into whatever spot you want to stay, and then we'll come out. Yeah? So let's give it a whirl. Don't go beyond your limits, though, and don't go so far that you can't come back out. All right. So here we go. That's it. On the back leg, the inner thigh rolls back. On the front leg, we plug. Yeah, see, it's easier the second time, isn't it? Robin, for a tiny hamstring guy, you're doing awesome here. You look like
I think I've done better.
Yeah, you could just sit here and eat breakfast in Hanumanasana.
No, I'm definitely.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
He's like, no, I'm good.
Maybe some water.
Yeah. All right, last round. Last round, last leg. Just go to whatever capacity you're working with. Now, typically I teach this sliding the front leg forward. There's another fun way to get there when you actually have the blanket on the back leg and we slide the back leg back, but we'll save that for another time. Same pose, just it makes you think about it differently. Yeah. All right, that looks so good, you guys. Let's come out. Nice. Yeah, child's pose, sit for a second, wiggle a little bit. Well done. Well done. Yeah, me too. So if you rearranged all your stuff, let's reset. So we're going back to down dog. You can do what you need to do. And then for this version of down dog, let's go with the wider stance in the legs. So take the feet about as wide as the mat. And for this one, a little bit, let the whole legs turn in slightly, a little bit of internal rotation. Bend the knees, press the mat down and forward with your hands. And then we didn't work on this today, but at the top of the thighs, press apart. Press out wide. And like we did in some of the other things, hug in a little bit through the ankles. You can stay like this with the knees bent, or if you want to go straighter in the legs, you can. Let this be more about symmetry in the pelvis and just giving the low back some space as opposed to hamstring stretch, which we've done plenty already. Yeah. All right, guys, and then let's undo. Come back to child's pose, knees come down, hips move back, take a little rest, maybe take a little wobble. Awesome. So there's this nice version of bridge that I'm going to recommend. And I'll also offer an option without blocks. So just you choose version 1 or version 2. For version 1, you'll use 2 blocks and they set up on the diagonal. So when you lift the hips, the blocks wedge in and kind of support the cheeks on the side. I like this one, that's pretty nice. If you can't figure it out or if you don't love it, there's actually now 3 options. You could just use 1. And if you don't have a block, you could use a folded blanket or a bolster or a pillow, something like that. Yeah. And then if neither of those appeal to you and you want to just do a few easy bridges up and down, that's an option too. So you choose what you like, movement or stillness. Yeah. And then for those of you who opted for the more active version, go ahead and let the hips come down. Those of you who are on blocks, stay on the blocks. And then if you're on the diagonal blocks, I'll advise holding on. Just sometimes it can be a little, they'll fall. Let's bend the knees and just hover the legs. And then we'll lengthen the legs up. It's legs up the imaginary wall. They don't have to go completely straight. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never really been able to do this.
Wow, it's after all the hamstring opening, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny too, because it's meant to be more of a restful pose, but if your hamstrings are super, super tight, it's really not. But hey, here we are. All right, guys, let's bend the knees. Set the feet down. If you are still on a prop here, you can pull them out. Just let yourself land. And we're nearing the end here. Shavasana, if you want to wiggle or take a little twist or a windshield wiper, anything like that, go ahead and do. Yeah. And then we'll head into Shavasana, which is just our final resting pose, laying down. If you need a blanket under the head or a prop under the legs, anything is fine. I am going to turn out some of the lights because the sun got really bright all of a sudden. And I don't want to blind you guys here. Yeah, nice work, you guys. So for the moment, let the work be done. Just allow your body to settle and to land in this position. Actually, same position we started in. Let's notice what's going on in the body right now. And what's going on in the mind and in the breath. And whatever all of that might be, just let it go. For the next few minutes, just let yourself be. Bring your attention back to your body. Start to make any kind of movement, anything that you like. When you feel ready, you can bend up the knees and just gently roll over to one side. And from there, take your time to come back up to sit. We'll meet with hands right at heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.